Okay, in this video, I'm going to show you how to create a WordPress multi-site. So this will allow you to create subdomains. Um, so that would mean you'll be able to create lots of different subdomains for your main domain. Now, I already purchased a domain called uh, List Latitude, and it's listlatitude.com from Namecheap, and I've forwarded the name servers to Namehero, and so that's been done already, but I haven't created the domain in Namehero. So, and this is using cPanel. So if you're not with Namehero, the process should be very similar. Okay, so here we go. Let's create a new domain. And as I mentioned, the name of the domain that I purchased is listlatitude.com. And we're not going to share this document root. And this is where we want it to go to. Okay, so you might have to type that in manually. And that is okay too. And we're going to hit submit. So we're going to create that domain. And then we have a few more steps to do yet after this. So once that's done, then we're going to create a wildcard for this domain. And the wildcard will allow us to create many subdomains using the WordPress. Once we get into WordPress, you'll see it'll allow us to create any names we want for the subdomain. And the subdomain is the part that goes before the main, the root domain. So, okay, so let's see if we've got that here. Now, I notice you have to refresh this every time when you do that. Yeah, so once we refresh this, it should show us the domain we created. Yeah, right here. So, we have to do one more thing though here. While we're on this page, we got to create a new domain. And this is for the subdomains now. So let's do that. And let's, I already got it in my list here. So it's the *listlatitude.com. And we do not want this wildcard thing here going on. We want to get rid of that with the dot. So it's just listlatitude.com. That's what we want to create. So let's submit that and create that now. And then we'll go back and we should see it in our domain list after we refresh the domain list page. So let's just wait till this finishes. There we go. Oh, okay. Now it's actually there right now, but a lot of times it isn't. It doesn't always refresh. Sometimes you gotta refresh this to see it. This time it surprised me. So now that is done. Okay. Let's see. I just want to check that. Yeah, that's done, and that's done. Okay. Now, I may have already done this, but you may have to. I'm just going to switch over to the main tools section here. You may also have to put a SSL certificate on that domain that we just created. It looks like I think I already have it on this one, but the SSL certificate. We see that. Yeah, SSL. Just open that up in a new tab. Let's see if that shows up anything there. And oh yeah, it's already secured. So I probably did this before, and I might have created this domain once before and I had it already secured, so it might still have been in memory. But you may have to do this. You may have to secure, like put a certificate on it. So I just want to point that out. So let's go back over to where we were. And so now we have our name just done, right? Now, in some cases, you may, when you're creating this one here, this name, you may not want to do with a wildcard. You may just want to give it a certain name, like travel.listlatitude.com or hotels.listlatitude.com. You can create individual ones. This allows us to just have everyone. In some cases, you might not want that. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so this is step one. We've now created the name, but we have a few more things we got to do. Okay, so we've got to go into, let's go to the file manager. I've already got it open here. So if we go to the file manager, I'm just going to reload this page because You just created a domain there, so let's just see. It may repopulate there after it reloads. And there's one thing you have to delete. You may have to delete a folder here. Let's see if that's true or not. Okay, listlatitude.com is there. Okay. And in some cases, when you create that wildcard.listlatitude.com, it'll have a folder that says wildcard, like _ wildcard _ dot listlatitude.com. You got to delete that folder, okay, in here, because you don't want that for WordPress. So just keep that in mind. Okay, now let's go back here to this area. Now this area is the zone editor. And to get to the zone editor, you just get into your main area here, and it's right there. So you click that, and it would open up this page here, or actually this one here. And then what we're going to do is select listlatitude.com. We're going to manage this. I'm going to open this up. Now we're going to scroll down wherever we see that asterisk. We see something here. This may have been here from, because I did a previous install, so just delete these. Make sure they're all deleted, because they will interfere with what we're going to do if we don't delete them. So that's the one with the asterisk, asterisk.listlatitude.com. Just delete everything that you see with that asterisk.listlatitude.com under this column here under name. Delete that as well. Okay. Delete it. Okay. Now we're going to create a record. It's going to be a CNAME record. Okay. Now we're going to, it's in my memory there already. So this is what we want. Asterisk.listlatitude.com dot. There's a dot right after that com. And right here, we're going to point it to listlatitude.com. Okay, just like that. Now, if you're with like I set up a multi-site, a WordPress multi-site and I was using travelpayouts.com. If you are subscribed to Travel Payouts and you want to point the, I guess you're pulling the content from Travel Payouts into your subdomain here, you would enter or it's called whitelabel.travelpayouts.com. You'd put that right here, but I'm not doing that, so I'm just going to have it go to our regular site. So what this is all going to allow us to do is any plugins we have installed for our main site, they can be used. They're all used under the subdomains, so we don't have to keep putting in separate plugins for the subdomains. And there's probably other reasons to use subdomains. But okay, so that is done now. I'm going to save the record. Okay, and let's just make sure it gets saved. Yeah, it got saved right down at the bottom. There it is. So that looks correct. Okay, now I have to do a few more things. So now we have to install WordPress. So that's what we'll do now. So because I'm with Namehero, you can use this one here, WordPress managed by Softaculous. And so let us open that up in a new tab here. Okay. And here we are. So, okay, right here, we can just click install. It'll install a new domain. So we're going to install a new domain. Okay, now we're gonna select where which domain we're installing. So I'm gonna go down this list, and it's listlatitude.com. Now, the advantage of Softaculous is that we got to check this one here. You can put anything here you want. You can change it later. I've already pre-populated my username and password, and you can put your own email in there. And then the reason I'm using Softaculous is that Namehero, I guess, with Softaculous provides some of these pro add-ons. And so I'm just, getting a few extra pro add-on plugins to test around and see how they are. I might be able to use them for something. There is, yeah, I'll just leave that. And then I'm using the advanced options here to change my database name. You don't have to do it, but I kind of like to know the name of my database. If I have other sites, then I can kind of keep record of them more. So what I'm going to give this one, I'm going to call this latitude, because it's list latitude, so it makes sense. And this prefix, I'm going to also call it latitude. And then it's got the underscore, so you can leave the underscore there. Okay. And everything else I'm just going to leave alone. And I think I've got everything right. Yeah, that should be pretty good. So let's create that. Okay. And there is actually one thing I'm looking at. One of these plugins, um, login attempt. Yeah, this one I'm going to address later because there's a little issue with this one. I don't know the plugin too well, so but I think we have to disable it in File Manager temporarily while we're messing around with the site. But anyway, we'll keep that in mind. So let's install that. And here we go. It's installing. Why not save it? Okay. So once this installs, then we have a few changes we got to make in WordPress. And then once those changes are made, our site should actually work as a multi-site. And the advantage again with the multi-site is you can have, when you're adding plugins, those plugins apply to all the sites. So you also have when you have a multi-site, you have a super admin, and the super admin has access to installing all those plugins. And so each individual site, they can't install the plugins. It has to be the super admin that installs them under a separate dashboard. So that can be an advantage. And so I just wanted to point that out. Okay, so it's already installed. Now we can actually go to our log in here. We can click this and we can log into this, our new WordPress site, and continue on to finish what we need to do here. So we're logged in now. And now that we're logged in, we have to go up to here where it says My Sites and go to Network Admin and the dashboard for the network admin. Now we go into Settings and we go to Network Settings. And network setup right here. Not right. This is what we want, network setup. Now, these two pieces of code have to be added in. So this piece of code has to be added into the WordPress config. But there's a little small change because by default, Soft Oculus is creating a multi-site for subfolders, not subdomains. So see this part here where it says subdomain false? We have to change it to true. Let's copy all this code. And we're going to go into the WordPress config that's in our file manager. So click here. So we've got a list latitude. Once we click that, okay, we're going into WP config here. We're going to edit this. Okay. And we edit again. And let's paste that code. Now, where we paste that code, we scroll down. Oh, it's actually got it in here already. Well, that's because it is a multi-site we created when we use Soft Oculus. A lot of times, if you're just using a basic WordPress install, none of this will be here. And so you have to paste it here, right? Just underneath where it says define WP debug, you paste all this code. And so all we have to do then, since it already has all this code, is we have to change this to true. Okay. Okay. Now, yeah, that's all we got to do here. Let's save that. Okay. And Now we got to do another change though. Okay, so let's close this. Let's go back into this area. Now this area is what we've got to add on to, right? So this gets a little trickier, and I'll tell you why, and I'll show you how to do this. We've got to access this. We got to change this file. So edit. And it's the htaccess file. Edit that again. So we're going to see it's kind of long, but we don't want to delete everything here. We just need to, I believe it's this chunk of code. But what we're going to do, just to make sure, okay, yeah, it's this chunk of code, I'm pretty sure. And let me just grab this. Where was I? There. Okay, let's grab this code here. Copy that. Let's go to here. Okay. Just this here. Yeah, this is it. There is, see there, if you compare these lines, they're not exact, right? I don't believe they're exact. Maybe they are. Let me just double check that. Maybe there's nothing we need to change. I just want to make sure it's all exact here. So it looks like it already has it, is what I'm thinking here. Okay. So if these codes match up, then I don't think we have to change anything. Looks like that this line and this line is matching up. Everything's the same. In case if you're doing an install and you see difference, what you can do is you can go on to Google and ask, and you paste all this code in, and you and ask where it wants you to put this code, this highlighted code, because and it'll tell you it's right here. But they're the same, so I don't think we have to do anything. So it's already sort of been done, I guess, when we use Soft Oculus. But you may have a different condition. Sometimes using AI will know where to put this code. So you can ask the question. It may ask you to paste all this code in, and then you can just ask it, hey, where do I paste this other code that I have? And the other code, of course, was this code, right? And it'll tell you where to paste it. Okay, so anyway, that's done. I think we didn't have to do anything there. So let's just close without saving because we didn't have to do anything. Okay, we didn't even have to do anything. So now let's see if our site is working. Okay, now it looks like everything is good there. So I think you have to log out and then come back in to test this. So let's log out. Okay, log out of our WordPress site here. Yeah, see how it says the 2 attempts? This is an issue. This is what I wanted to address earlier. It's an issue with this here. Let's see. WordPress content. And it's one of the plugins. Remember I wanted to get all those fancy plugins? Well, the plugins I got, Loginizer, I think this is it here. So what we're going to do, what I found I have to do, is I haven't read up on this plugin too much. I just have to rename this, and that'll kind of block it from working. I will just say it's, oh, I already did it once before. I'll just disabled. And do this one here, rename file. Yeah, and then this one too. So I'm not sure, we might have to do both of them. Rename the file. Rename, I don't know why I did that. Yeah, rename the file. Anyway, I think that'll work now. Let's see. Yeah. as long as the name is changed. So now let's go back there where we were logging in. Okay, and let's just this is the wrong login actually. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now we're going to log in again. The next time we log in, we won't see this, that 2 attempts. It's probably some kind of security measure, someone trying to log into your site too many times to hack it or something. So I am going to save my password there, and let's see how things go. Okay, now we're back into the site, and we're going to try now to create a new subdomain site. So we got to go into My Sites, Network Admin, and we're going to go to Sites. Now, that's our main site, right? Now, not much magic there, but if we visit this site, it's just going to be, I think, a plain default WordPress site. Yeah. Okay, no big deal there. Let's turn that off and come back in here. Let's add another site. We'll just call it Test. Okay. Test. Okay. Test, and we'll just call the title Test. Okay, just added this email called tester@listlatitude.com. Everything here is just, so, basic. I just put something in there. These can all be changed later. But the site is what we're creating. It's called test.listlatitude.com. Let's add it. And once that's added, we're going to see if it works. Okay, now, if we can make it to the dashboard, it probably works. Let's try to make it to the dashboard, see what happens. So we want to make sure we don't get a 404 error at this point. So we're at test.listlatitude.com. Press admin. Yeah, we made it in. So everything worked out okay. Took a little while to come in there. I don't know why. But we're now into our new subfolder site. So it's test.listlatitude.com. And you can edit this site just as you would normally edit a regular site, except that you can't add plugins in this dashboard. If you want to add plugins, you got to go to your network admin dashboard. You see the dashboard is different. Okay. And then this is where you can add the plugins. The other one, you can only view the plugins, but you can't add them. So here you could look at, what do you have for install plugins, right? And these are the ones that came with Soft Oculus. You can disable or, use more plugins here if you want. We disabled this, remember? We deactivated it by changing its name. So it's giving us that code. But anyway, that's how you make a WordPress multi-site. So, and you can create as many of those sites. Now, as we did this, when we set everything up, we set up with the wildcard. So you don't have to, when you're doing all your setups here, right? So this is a wildcard, right? This could be a specific, in our case, test. We could have had test there, so it's only for test. The same thing with when we did this here. This could have been named test. But now that it's a wildcard, we can just keep adding different names in when we create the the subdomains in WordPress here. We can just keep adding any name we want, and it'll work. So that's the advantage of that. But you may not want to do that for other reasons. I'm not sure of all the reasons, but there are probably some reasons you may not want to do that. Okay, so I hope this video has been helpful. I made this video because I had a little bit of a problem setting this all up, and so maybe someone else will benefit from this video. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.